welcome to Herpes, a podcast about breaking the stigma on herpes and empowering the community. I'm your host, Erin DeVost. As always, you can review my episodes on YouTube, Anchor, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find the link to the channel on the podcast's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter page at Herpes Podcast. Thanks! Hey Herpaderpers, do I have a treat of an interview to share with you. It is with the one and only Zen Denley, and she is all the way from the Philippines doing everything by being a voice performing coach, event host and performer, an international multi-sports coach for kids. But also, she is an HIV counselor in the Philippines, a love bumps advocate, which we're going to get into for this interview, and a life coach for people living with HIV. And she is truly an inspiration to me, and her story is something incredible and that we can all relate to.
Thank you for this interview. It is actually one of my bucket lists to be interviewed and to talk about about my advocacy. And I know everything happens for a reason. For me, it's not an accident. Yeah, that's it.
Well, you're very well-rounded and experienced. That is for sure. And it just brings like so much to the table. And just also going to, especially like in the Philippines area. And I was kind of like exploring kind of even our previous conversations about, the not necessarily like the overall like differences like between like cultures, and especially like relating to like herpes in that sense, like how the stigma seems to kind of like be very much like alive there, like in an unfortunate sense, like how you were telling me with different things that have been like happening, like even being like afraid to like go to like a doctor. There is something wrong with me, I want to know, but having the stigma of a traumatizing like diagnosis. So it just makes me kind of wonder, your experience with that, but also how you're wanting to change that with the Love Bumps campaign.
I'm going to tell you my story. A little story. Well, actually, it was last year when I went to the public hospital. I don't want to name it. And I don't want to name it. So it's like... my experience there is not so good because it's funny because it was Holy Week, and Holy Week in the Philippines is very sacred. Like everyone is quiet, everyone's just praying and praying. But for me, I was just like, what is happening to my body? Like instead of like having a good time, because it's it's actually a tradition, cultural thing in Philippines when it's Holy Week, spend time with family. But for me, because that time, it was really bad. Something happened to my body, and it was really shocking because like you're not that like sexually active. I mean, because when you were diagnosed with any sexually transmitted infections, you will have this stigma, and that stigma really very traumatic because you don't know anything at all, and you don't know what is really happening. So going back to my diagnosing, it's like I just noticed something on my like thigh part and on my lower parts. Like, what is this? Like little bumps or blisters, kind of painful. And what is happening to my body? So I thought it's like normal, but slowly, it's like you can really see them. It's like, what is this? What is this? So I went to the hospital with my mom. And because she needs to check with the derma also. So it's like I'm very excited that time. Maybe it's just like irritation with the detergent or because of the waxing I did. So like I can't really think that time. And when I go, and after the checkup with my mom, they called me. So it's like I'm very excited, and the doctor checked me, and he's just like looking at me as if like, you know, a suspicious look or like a judgment look. So it's like, okay, what's happening? Do I have something in my body? Then after that, she opened her laptop. It's like just looking for the images, I guess, like what is happening to my body. Then after that, she called everyone, the student nurse, the intern doctors. They called everyone. It's like, oh my god, what's happening? So like I'm anxious. Like, what is really happening? Can you just tell me first before you call the student nurses, the student doctors, head of dermatologists, head of this hospitals. Like, am I going to die? You know, the anxiety I'm there, and like my mom is just outside. Can you just tell me? And after that, they know my diagnosis. They're just talking like a blah, blah, like a murmuring, and they're looking at me. It's like, okay. Then and I don't have any idea at that time. Then after that, all the student nurses looking at me, the doctors looking at me, and my cousin is working there as a doctor. And it's like that time is very like traumatic because my mom is outside, my cousin is outside, and we belong to a conservative family, like a Chinese Muslim Christian family. So everything is just like in one time, big time. Like, my God, I feel so helpless. But I'm trying to be mindful that I'm like, okay, calm down, Zandy, calm down, don't panic. So yes, after that, the doctors went out. My mom is outside looking at me. It's like, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Like, I said, yeah, I'm okay. But inside, I'm not really okay because it's like, okay. And after that, they handed me a small letter. Is it a diagnosis? And it was stated like, okay, herpes simplex virus type 2, genital herpes. Like, huh? And I was like shocked. In the next paper, immediately for HIV screening, I was really shocked. Like, huh? Like, what? And the doctors asked me, how many times you had sex? How many times you had multiple partners? I mean, how many sexual partners? Like, huh? Like, huh? Is this really how it works here? Like, the question is very like, kind of discriminating or judging. Do we have like little counseling, like, talk to me, how am I? You need to ask me how am I about diagnosis. But of course, I am a nurse by profession. I know those stuff, but I don't know anything at all. It's like, okay, that's STI. Okay, that's all I know when I was in my nursing years. But I didn't know what types, what are the modes of transmission, how do I prevent this? Should I do a suppressive therapy? Like, everything's just like clueless. So I was like, that moment I was really shocked and stunned because why? So because of why? And people, that's why you called them to look at me. No privacy at all. My mom is outside. So I was just like, okay, I'll do this. I'll do the HIV screening. And it took me like August. In April, that's April 2018, April, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Like, I had my first HIV screening because it's my birth month. So I thought, it's my birth month. I have to celebrate this with strength and courage. As I need to know my status. I need to know my status. And it was like, I was very scared that time. Like, it was like, what if I am HIV positive? What if I really have this disease? Should I stop coaching? Should I stop doing what I really love? Should I move out to my house because I love my family? I don't want them to get this. If it's airborne, if it's like with touch, I'll give it to them. I feel very dirty that time. I feel very like worthless. I feel like all my hardships before is like, what's this? Is like just going to the trash. Like, okay, you have this diagnosis, you can't reach your goals now. So that is what's looping on my mind. And after that, and that moment, afternoon, I had a lot of meetings that time after diagnosis. I have a class, I have a meeting, 5 meetings with that bad outbreak, with the diagnosis, with the trauma. And you just don't know what to do. It's like you can't talk to anyone. You can talk to your parents like that. You can say it to everyone, right? So yeah, going back. So my mom is asking, "Oh, why is it everyone is looking at you? Do you have like STIs?" Like, huh? I don't have. So I just like don't have. I just like skin infections because of the napkin, the sanitary napkin I use. And like after that, I tried to be strong to the class. It's very uncomfortable, but I tried. I bought the medicine like the doctor like a cyclovir. And okay, I'll buy this one. And at first, I was really scared to buy the pharmacy because okay, if I buy this acyclovir, it means I have STI. The pharmacist will gonna judge me. But I don't receive anything like that. It's very nice of them. So I just bought it and tried to take the medicine as prescribed. Then after that, after the classes, after the meeting, like I don't know how I end up at home because like you were just like I'm floating. Like I have to do my responsibilities. I can't afford to break down. I have commitment. I commit with my students. I have committed with my future partners because in my mind at time I want to cancel my class. I just want to cry. I just want to be alone. I just want to be alone. I just want to feel the pain. And I will like neglect all my students and my career because I just need to like 1 week like shut down. But yeah, I fought so hard for that. But like okay, herpes is on my mind. Okay, if I have HIV, what should I do? So it's on my mind. I'm researching a lot. Then after that, later that night, my sister, well, she's a psychologist. She knows about my behavior, the body movement, the gesture. So it's like I was really quiet, and my mom and my dad's like just like making, and just like, oh, are you okay? It's like I'm okay. So they went out, they went upstairs, sleepy, and I texted my sister. I'm like, Dean, can you go down? And my sister was like, yeah, I can see her. And that's the time I broke down. I break down, like I'm crying like a baby. It's like I gave her the result. Like, okay. And what's it's like she just very calm, like what's our next step? And I told her this is what happened. Like I don't know what happened to me. I only have, um one guy in my life and this happened. And and I don't know if I should take the HIV test because I'm scared. Maybe I'm going to die soon, or I'm feeling dirty because of that diagnosis. Then I just cried like whole night. Then after that, um, the next day I tried to search, searching in Google like herpes support group. I just tried it because I don't want to stay in this pain. I need to do something. I need to do something. I need to save myself. I need to, to move on with my life, even if I have the herpes. So yeah, I searched the herpes support group and I found that there is, and like I don't know what's the names, like honeycombs. Then they replied. Then after that, they added me in Facebook, and I was really shocked. It's like they in the name is the Young and Positive Asia, and there are like 200 members there, like most like Philippines and most of them, of course, in Asia. I was really happy that time because someone is out there, like talking about diagnosis, talking about herpes without judgment. It was really welcoming, and I forgot that I have that. I can see a lot of like testimonials, like wow, it's very brave, and just of course, one of the head of that really helped me a lot. And after that, after a week, I didn't notice it was me who's helping now, the newly diagnosed. I am now helping them to to accept the chapter, the new chapter, what is herpes type 1 type, everything about herpes, explaining, and I even asked for free medication to give those people, to give those Filipinos who can't really buy and who is afraid to go to the doctors. They just need to send me the picture and look to and show it to one of the expert in herpes. Then, oh yeah, that's his herpes. You have to give her a medicine like this, and if you need, we're giving a little amount of money also to buy her, so she can buy a medicine. I mean, to buy, I know, so she can buy her vitamins. So yeah, it's just a 1 week of 1 week span of time. I was really 1 week, 3 days down. Then little did I know, it was Mina who is building up newly diagnosed and trying to talk to them if they find it like very like they want to like very what's this suicidal or depressed because of the diagnosis. And that's why I joined this a famous community organization here as a volunteer and as a HIV counselor, because I know how it feels like to diagnose like okay herpes, and now you have ASAP HIV screen. It's like, is it really ASAP? Yes, because it's a co-infection. Okay, because they told me like mostly who has herpes has HIV. Is like shit, like shocks. Oh my god, like there's no like a stop for me. That is like all informations are coming out, all painful memories are flashing back, everything. So yeah, so that's why I decided to like to to extend myself to others that hey, I'm there, I was there in your position, I felt that also. And look, now I'm here, like I'm building our organization slowly and slowly. I'm asking for donations to have this sec registered to really ask for grant maybe in America or in UK, because I can't do this on my own. And and that's why I really want to I really want to push this love bombs. Yeah, because of the love. So it's actually my boyfriend who who decided to create that name, because you get that because of the love, right? Everything is under in one place, like sharing utensils or sharing everything, or if it's type ones, like you love them, so you trust them. So you can really like tell it's love bombs. So we have to like to eradicate the stigma or to accept it like it's normal or common to get this stuff, and to even it's very difficult to move on. We don't have like it's not just a choice. It's like how we handle it, process and acknowledge the pain, to be vulnerable, because that is the birthplace of courage. Like you allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow yourself to be in pain, so you can really heal slowly, but of course on your own pace, on your own process. We don't have like same kind of healing, right? So that is actually what love bombs want to do. Like, okay, you have this now, then I will be your journey partner until you can really help me also to be part of my volunteerism. And it's really great because a lot of people are now signing on form. They want to be volunteer in social media, which is really good because they're almost affected by it. And I'm very happy that those negative thoughts, I'm turning into positive like energy. And this October 27th, I set a meeting with them. It's very hard to talk because they're very afraid to to meet up, because of course the stigma, they don't want to reveal their identity. But I told them, hey, I reveal myself to slowly to my friends. Like they just like, okay. It's like it's how you deliver, it's how you really accept yourself that way. So it's like my friends is like they're aware now that oh, it's very possible. So should really get tested. So I mean, my new partner said we should really get tested. Yeah, you should. It's part of the routine. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be judged, discriminated. It's actually healthy and very smart. Smart move that you are aware of your sexual health, not just like your blood sugar, heart, everything. It should be part of your routine. And I'm very happy because on my small educating them and trying to raise awareness about the herpes and HIV. They are now my partners, like helping me to make this big. And when I ask, like sometimes when I ask a small amount because we have a newly diagnosed and I need money to buy the medicine for her. Can we do that? Can you ask? Yeah, they're sending me even like $1. It's a big help. It's really a big help. And yeah, so yeah, I think blessed or grateful what happened to me because it makes me a stronger woman and wants to be like help people who has newly diagnosed who are suffering from herpes or HIV. I just want to be their journey partner and tell them that you're still worthy and you're beautiful.
Yeah, that was a
Yes.
wow. Like you're so brave, Zen. Like for telling like your story and just how much that you've really overcome. And I want to help myself, but also like to help others and to really be that advocate and like you said like that journey partner throughout it all. And everyone's story always has like the same mechanics to it. Like we kind of like fall into this like stigma, like self-doubt, like questioning our self-worth and the why. And
Mm-hmm.
now to see how far like you've come like throughout these years and to really bring out the best in everyone, that's saying like you are
Yeah.
more like than herpes. Like herpes does not define like who you are, and that is what is truly like so special, like what you're doing in the Philippines and beyond, like just every life that you touch and being able to advocate for them and get the medication and such as well. So it's really a
Mm-hmm.
really inspiring journey that you're doing, and being a part of Love Bumps. And for listeners who don't know, like Zen and I had connected maybe about like a month ago now.
Yeah, a month ago.
Yeah, about doing a Love Bumps campaign collaboration. And Love Bumps is really about, Zen had beautifully said, just loving yourself and loving what you have, because, herpes, could be contracted like through an act of love, like, being like there and that, yes, it's present, but it's also a symbolism of acceptance and being able to really overcome ourselves and like what we have, and to keep projecting that forward and to keep moving and being ourselves. And that's what's so inspiring, and to be able to do this. And with on October 13th is herpes awareness day, and so
Yes.
which is so exciting to really think about. And it's also my herp anniversary, and I really wish I had told myself a lot in the beginning, my diagnosis, and just seeing
Mm-hmm.
like how far I've come to really love myself, to really like accept everything, and to have like you as a member like in the community, and like international too. Like it's so amazing to have
Yes.
connected with you on this campaign and on this journey. And have you, I guess you kind of had touched on it too, but is there anything special that you wanted to share or do for Love Bumps?
My main goal is really to be like one of the I don't know if it's the right term, like well known. It's like I just want love bombs to be known here in the Philippines, that it's the advocacy for herpes support and treatment system. And I really want to have my own the herpes hub in the Philippines. If because we have a lot of HIV hub in the Philippines, means you can go get yourself tested. After that, if you know your result, you can have like free medication and free doctors check up, and you have a free counselor and a life coach. And that is what I really want to have, like a small place. And if you are newly diagnosed, you can go to my place. Let's talk about it, diagnosis, and of course the doctor is there, and the doctor can check you. And if it's like, yeah, if it's herpes, okay, we can do a swab or PCR so we can really know what's really happening, what do you have. Then at the same time, a free medication, because yeah, like I told you, like a lot of people like didn't have the money to buy the medicine because it's kind of expensive. It's quite expensive, the medicine, especially if you have to take it like thrice a day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really like, it's not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And to be love bombs, to be part of organization who is addressing about self-doubt, how you love yourself more and more, how to face the adversity, how to be, to accept the new life you have, how to accept, how to be vulnerable, yes, how to be courageous, and I want to like to be in partner, but like of course with women, because I have a lot of clients who are women and I can feel them because we have the same same situation. And yeah, and of course love moms wants to have a right sex education in youth, in everyone here, because I think we are lacking of it. So there's a lot of diagnosis. They don't know what is really happening. They don't know what is herpes. So they thought herpes is like a death sentence. So I want them to educate. Okay, this is herpes. So let's talk about herpes. Let's talk. And I just want like to be out there, to be to be the voice, or maybe to be the face, to to educate, to raise awareness, and to address it with full acceptance. Even it's very hard, even it's very difficult, but we cannot do anything about it. We just need to accept it wholeheartedly, and to be courageous and to be brave to talk to this confident that we have this, um, and to accept that it's normal, that you can really get it, even like you don't have to have a physical or sexual contact. There's a possibility that you can really have it because it's like a common skin conditions. So yeah.
Yeah, that's another good point too. It's just like it's so common that like why do we have the stigma around it through like, our traumatic like doctor's visits to transforming into like who we are now, to really have like this positive conversation and to just really love ourselves like through it and through it all. So
Yeah.
And I'm just so excited for love bumps, and like even doing like this episode to really like bring out what like love bumps is, and to really catapult like this movement into something more, and like especially on the international space too, and to just keep loving loving the bumps, loving our bumps.
Yeah. Loving the single bumps in your body.
Exactly. No matter how many bumps in the road, we're loving these bumps.
Yeah. Yeah, accepting every bumps, right? Like bumps, like challenges in your life.
Yeah.
Accept it. Yeah.
So many different metaphors to take off from there. I love it. Like, it just makes me excited.
Yeah, it is.
Herpeder, what we are trying to do is just kind of like how you mentioned a little bit, kind of like being like the face. And that's something that I feel a lot of people are afraid of, is to show themselves. Like I have like a lot of, listeners who reach out to me, but are afraid in some ways to follow, just because of like the stigma of like what herpes is, and to really bring out the face this month, like the face of love bumps, the face of herpes, like is something that's so powerful, because many are afraid to show that, to show their face and like tell their story, and that's what makes it so powerful. And I've been doing I believe I had sent you the survey too, for hands, or the tell your story.
Yeah.
And I just find it so brave that, we've had actually I believe it was over 700 responses from that survey. Just 700 like individuals really, share their story, tell their story. And now, this month we're able to kind of, and especially the Herpes Awareness Day, just to really, show who we are, like to really tell the story in person, like in person kind of thing. So that's kind of like what I'm doing, into Interpreter's doing, is just putting telling the story, but like recording it through video, and like it will of course be through audio for podcast listeners, but on my YouTube channel you'll actually be seeing it. So it's just a very as much as we are confident in like talking about herpes and our diagnosis, there's always going to be that little sense of fear, but it also like pushes us to go to that next level, to do something that many folks have not done before. So it's just very inspiring that, you and I and others like in this community are just really, leading that way and like leading that movement and being a face and an individual and a coach to those who can,
Yeah.
don't feel they can make this alone right now. So, yeah. And
Yes.
my final question is you really brought everything into light. So
Oh
was
yeah.
you put it so much in full circle. And what is the best advice that you could give to someone who has herpes, whether, newly diagnosed or kind of going through this journey or going to this level of confidence that we're going through?
Okay. Well, for me, the best advice I can give to newly diagnosed or to people who has herpes is um what? There's a lot of advice in my head, but for me, it's like be strong and courageous because that is my personal mantra. Like, and after that, be strong and courageous. You just have to love yourself because it's part of you. And you have to love those parts, even the hardest parts, you have to love yourself. And because that is the start that you will heal slowly by loving yourself slowly. And even you think for you it's ugly or very painful, just have to love them and at the same time be courageous. Like, it's not the end of your life. Like what you said, um, it's a big word. Like herpes is a big word, but you have a big heart. You have a very wonderful soul that you can. I trust you. Even I don't know you at all. I trusted that you can do it. I mean, I trust you that even I haven't met you. I know that you can live a beautiful life even you have herpes because um, I was there, and look what I am now talking to this beautiful lady and to have a wonderful collaboration. So everything is possible as you just have to believe in yourself and loving yourself and be courageous no matter what happened. Yeah.
Beautifully said, Zen. And here I am talking to another beautiful woman too. And listeners, like, just really loving yourself. We can't express that enough. As we know, it's easier said than done. But as kind
Yeah.
of similar to Zen's story, like, being diagnosed with herpes made me love myself that much more, like, throughout everything. And like the mentality, like the struggle through it all is just, really loving yourself and loving the support system and developing that for yourself as well. So it's so great. I'm so happy we were able to
Yes.
connect, Zen, and definitely am so excited for what this month and like Herpes Awareness Day is really going to bring this year. So,
Yeah, I'm just happy because it's just like it's very fast, right? It was last year. And
right?
now I'm here now and building love bombs and asking for like collaboration support. I just can't believe it actually. I just can't believe it that I'm doing it now. Because before I was like contemplating like should I do it? What will happen to my career? What will I like never mind. Like never mind. I just do it. And you feel free. I feel free and relieved that I will be part of this advocacy. I'll be part of this wonderful like collaboration. It's just like I have a purpose now in my life. Like I just don't want to like breathe. I just want to live like a life that I was made to. And I'm just happy. I'm grateful to really like what happened to me. I'm like I'm grateful that what happened to me last year, what happened, like all the struggles, the pain, the trauma. Like I'm very like proud of myself. Like I was there. I mean I was there this that time, and now look what I've done like in a short span of time, building and helping everyone as much as I can do. It's like that's actually me. Helping, supporting as long as I can do. Because, you want to live in a world in this lifetime that you want, you know, I just want to know. I mean, I just want to tell them that they're worthy. It's like that's my actually go. Everyone is worthy, with or without age. You're worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, so beautifully said. So grateful that there needs to be more positive influencers like you and I in this world, and I'm just happy that here we are now. How can people find you?
Oh well, they can find me on my social media. I'm very active. Well, in Facebook, it's Zenlidian Sui, or open and close parenthesis Coach Zen, because I go by the name of Coach Zen here in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
In Instagram, it's Super Coach Zen, and in Twitter also Super Coach Zen. Yes.
Perfect.
So you can find me, and you can really check what am I doing in my life. That I'm very active,
Mm-hmm.
and my advocacy. You can see like HIV counseling, and this love bombs. Yes. Thank you also for this wonderful interview. It's really my first time to get an interview about this. It was really a great feeling to talk about this, like a very like casual conversation, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, like a conversation with a cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, I got mine. So yeah, of course. And like I wanted it to be comfortable for you because like it is a really brave thing to do, and everyone who will be listening to this episode will definitely be very appreciative and think that you're just so brave. Like it's so hard like to do it, and I'm proud of you. So
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm proud of you. Yeah, thank you, Erin. Have a great day, and yeah, be strong and courageous.
you too, Zen. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
As always, feel free to share or comment on this podcast episode through YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email at herpederpodcast@gmail.com. Anchor listeners can now leave voicemail messages after listening to the podcast episode to get those deep reflections. It's super fun to do and share your thoughts.